Hello everyone, and welcome back to Body Revival. It's wonderful to have you all here again. For those of you who are new, thank you for finding us, and for our loyal viewers, your continued support truly means the world. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our valuable health videos. We're dedicated to bringing you the most up-to-date and actionable information to help you live your healthiest, most vibrant life. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that is far more prevalent and impactful than many realize, especially as we navigate the incredible journey of aging. We're going to talk about a seemingly innocent morning habit, one that many of us engage in without a second thought, but which, after the age of 50, can silently and systematically wreak havoc on your hormonal balance. This isn't just about feeling a little off. It's about a fundamental disruption to the delicate symphony of your body's internal chemistry, specifically targeting those crucial hormones like testosterone and estrogen. Why is this so important? Because hormonal balance isn't just a buzzword. It's the bedrock of your energy levels, your mood, your sleep quality, your bone density, your muscle mass, your cognitive function, and even your overall resilience against chronic disease. When this balance is compromised, it doesn't just affect one isolated system. It creates a cascade of interconnected issues that can profoundly diminish your quality of life. This isn't a niche health concern. It's a public health issue affecting millions globally, impacting productivity, mental well-being, and contributing to a healthcare burden that is growing exponentially. Let's put this into perspective with some startling facts. Did you know that studies suggest nearly 40% of men over 45 experience low testosterone, a condition often referred to as male menopause or andropause, and for women, the perimenopausal and postmenopausal years, typically starting in their late 40s and early 50s, bring about significant declines in estrogen, with symptoms affecting up to 85% of women at some point. These figures are not just abstract numbers, they represent real people experiencing fatigue, weight gain, decreased libido, mood swings, sleep disturbances, and a general decline in their vitality. The economic impact is equally staggering, with billions spent annually on managing symptoms and related health complications. But what if a significant contributor to these widespread issues isn't some complex genetic predisposition or an unavoidable consequence of aging, but rather something as seemingly innocuous as a morning habit you engage in every single day? This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about empowerment. It's about recognizing a silent disruptor and taking proactive steps to reclaim your health and vitality. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what this habit is and how it impacts you, but you'll also be equipped with practical, actionable strategies to mitigate its effects and foster true hormonal harmony. So, stay with us, because what you learn today could fundamentally transform your health trajectory. Now, let's delve into the core of the issue, understanding how this morning habit quietly undermines your hormonal health, particularly after 50. The habit we are focusing on today, the one that many unknowingly engage in, and that silently destroys hormonal balance, is the immediate and prolonged exposure to artificial blue light from screens, specifically, checking your phone, tablet, or computer the very first thing upon waking, often before the sun has even fully risen, or before your body has had a chance to naturally adjust to the morning light. This isn't about shunning technology entirely. It's about understanding the profound physiological impact of when and how we interact with it, especially in those crucial first moments of our day. The problem lies in the specific wavelength of blue light emitted by these devices, and its potent effect on your body's master clock, your circadian rhythm. Let's break down the first crucial point: the disruption of melatonin production and its downstream effects on other hormones. When you wake up and immediately expose your eyes to the intense blue light from a screen, you are effectively sending a powerful, confusing signal to your brain. Your brain interprets this blue light as bright daylight, even if it's still dark outside. This premature exposure to what your body perceives as daytime light instantly slams the brakes on melatonin production. Melatonin isn't just your sleep hormone. It's a powerful antioxidant and a critical regulator of numerous other hormonal pathways. It's produced by your pineal gland, and its secretion is naturally suppressed by light and stimulated by darkness. When you disrupt this delicate morning rhythm, you're not just affecting your ability to fall asleep later that night, you're setting off a chain reaction that impacts your entire endocrine system. Consider this: your body expects a gradual transition from darkness to light in the morning, signaling to your brain that it's time to slowly increase cortisol, your wake up hormone, and prepare for the day. But when you hit it with a blast of blue light, it creates a jolt, an artificial spike in alertness that can be misconstrued by your adrenal glands. This can lead to an overproduction of cortisol early in the day, or, paradoxically, a blunted cortisol awakening response, meaning your body struggles to properly ramp up its daytime energy. A sustained, dysregulated cortisol pattern, whether too high or too low at the wrong times, is a known disruptor of both testosterone and estrogen. For men, chronically elevated cortisol suppresses the production of luteinizing hormones, LHV, in the pituitary gland, which in turn signals the testes to produce less testosterone. It also increases the activity of aromatase, an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen, further exacerbating imbalances. For women, cortisol dysregulation can throw off the delicate dance between estrogen and progesterone, leading to issues like estrogen dominance or insufficient progesterone, contributing to symptoms like irregular periods, in perimenopause, hot flashes, mood swings, and difficulty sleeping. Let's consider a real-life example. Imagine Sarah, 55, who has always been a diligent worker. Her alarm goes off at 6 a.m., and the first thing she does, still half asleep, is grab her phone from her nightstand. She checks emails, scrolls through social media, and reads the news, all before even getting out of bed. This might seem harmless, a way to gently ease into the day. However, Sarah has been experiencing increasing fatigue despite getting what she believes is enough sleep. She's gained weight, especially around her midsection, and her once vibrant libido has plummeted. Her mood is often irritable, and she finds herself struggling with brain fog. She attributes these symptoms to just getting older. What she doesn't realize is that her morning phone habit is constantly signaling to her body that it's daytime, even before her natural light exposure. Her melatonin production is being suppressed at the exact moment her body should be slowly winding down from its sleep state and transitioning to wakefulness. This constant suppression means her body isn't getting the full benefits of melatonin's regulatory role throughout the night and into the morning. The resulting cortisol dysregulation, combined with the lack of proper light cues, is contributing to her fatigue, her body holding on to fat due to stress signals, and the hormonal cascade that leads to low libido and mood issues. If not detected or addressed early, Sarah's symptoms could worsen, potentially leading to chronic sleep disorders, increased risk of metabolic syndrome, and a significantly reduced quality of life. All compounded by the belief that these issues are simply an unavoidable part of aging. The insidious nature of this habit is that its effects accumulate slowly, often becoming noticeable only after significant hormonal disruption has occurred. Moving on to our second crucial point, the impact on the body's natural cortisol awakening response and overall circadian rhythm synchronization. Beyond just melatonin, the timing of light exposure in the morning is absolutely vital for setting your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm. This rhythm dictates virtually every physiological process, including the release of hormones. Your body naturally anticipates the sunrise, and upon exposure to natural light, it initiates a healthy surge of cortisol, known as the cortisol awakening response, CARE. This CAR is a sign of a healthy, resilient adrenal system and is essential for waking you up, boosting alertness, and preparing your body for the day's demands. It's a natural, healthy stress response that helps you get out of bed and feel energized. However, when you introduce artificial blue light before natural light, or when the intensity of that blue light is jarringly different from the ambient morning light, you disrupt this finely tuned response. Your brain receives a mixed signal, essentially saying, is it daytime? Is it artificial light? What's going on? This confusion can lead to a blunted CAR, meaning your body doesn't produce enough cortisol to adequately wake you up, leaving you feeling groggy and sluggish even after a full night's sleep. Or, conversely, it can lead to an overproduction later in the day as your body tries to compensate, creating a chronic state of low-grade stress. Consider the intricate dance between cortisol and other hormones. Elevated or dysregulated cortisol, whether from a blunted morning response or chronic stress later in the day, directly competes with testosterone and estrogen for receptor sites. Imagine it like a busy parking lot. If cortisol takes up all the spaces, testosterone and estrogen can't park and exert their effects. This competition is particularly pronounced after age 50, when natural production of these sex hormones is already declining. So, any additional interference significantly amplifies the problem. Furthermore, chronic circadian disruption impacts gut health, which is surprisingly interlinked with hormonal balance. Your gut microbiome operates on its own circadian rhythm, and disrupting your master clock can throw off the delicate balance of beneficial bacteria, leading to inflammation and impaired nutrient absorption. An unhealthy gut, in turn, impacts hormone metabolism and detoxification, particularly estrogen, which is largely metabolized and excreted via the liver and gut. Let's look at a different scenario. John, 58, a retired executive, found himself with more free time, but also an increasing sense of fatigue and a persistent, foggy brain. His morning routine involved waking up, grabbing his tablet, and immediately diving into news articles and financial reports while still in bed. He's always been an early riser, but lately he feels unrefreshed, even after 7 to 8 hours of sleep. He also noticed a significant decrease in his motivation to exercise and a general lack of zest for life. John's habit of immediately engaging with his tablet, especially before natural light fills his room, is likely blunting his natural cortisol awakening response. Instead of a healthy, gradual surge of cortisol that prepares him for the day, his body is receiving a confusing artificial light signal that disrupts this natural process. This leads to a suboptimal morning energy curve, explaining his persistent grogginess and lack of motivation. The chronic disruption of his circadian rhythm also impacts his cognitive function, manifesting as brain fog and reduced mental clarity. If John continues this habit, he risks not only worsening his fatigue and cognitive decline, but also contributing to long-term issues like increased insulin resistance due to chronic cortisol dysregulation, which further impacts testosterone levels in men. He might also experience a more pronounced decline in bone density and muscle mass, as balanced sex hormones are crucial for maintaining these in aging men. The subtlety of this effect is its danger. John might simply attribute his symptoms to the natural process of aging, rather than recognizing a modifiable behavioral cause. The cumulative effect over years can be profound, leading to a diminished quality of life that could have been avoided. Now, for our third critical point, the impact on the autonomic nervous system and overall stress response. When you wake up and immediately expose yourself to blue light and the stimulating content of your phone, be it news, emails, or social media, you're instantly activating your sympathetic nervous system, commonly known as your fight or flight response. This system is designed for acute stress, for moments of danger, not for your gentle transition into the day. Your heart rate might subtly increase, your breathing might become shallower, and your body releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. This is the opposite of what your body needs first thing in the morning for optimal hormonal balance. Ideally, your morning should be a gradual, calming transition from sleep to wakefulness, allowing your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest system, to remain dominant for a while. This allows your body to slowly ramp up its metabolic processes and prepare for the day in a balanced way. Consider the cumulative effect of constantly starting your day in a state of mild stress. Chronic activation of the sympathetic nervous system leads to what's known as adrenal fatigue, or HPA axis dysfunction. The HPA axis, involving your hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal glands, is the central command center for your stress response and plays a crucial role in regulating almost every hormone in your body. When this axis is constantly overstimulated by perceived stress, even from something as seemingly benign as an email notification, it can lead to a state of chronic inflammation, reduced immune function, and, critically, a direct interference with sex hormone production. For example, the body, under constant stress, prioritizes the production of cortisol over sex hormones. This phenomenon, often referred to as pregnenolone steal, occurs because pregnenolone, a precursor hormone, can be shunted towards cortisol production instead of testosterone, estrogen, or progesterone. This means fewer building blocks are available for the hormones essential for vitality, energy, and overall well-being after 50. Let's illustrate this with Maria, 52, a busy professional still working full-time. She prides herself on being on top of things. And her morning ritual involves waking up to her phone alarm, immediately checking her work emails, and often responding to them before even getting out of bed. She feels a constant sense of urgency and often skips breakfast because she's already mentally at work. Maria has been struggling with increasing anxiety, disrupted sleep, even more intense hot flashes than typical for her age, and a significant drop in her libido. Her doctor attributes some of it to menopause, but she feels there's more to it. Maria's morning routine is a perfect example of how early blue light exposure, combined with immediate mental stimulation, triggers her sympathetic nervous system. She's starting her day in fight or flight mode, creating a cascade of stress hormones. This chronic activation is exhausting her adrenal glands and, through the pregnenolone steal pathway, directly impacting her estrogen and progesterone levels, intensifying her menopausal symptoms like hot flashes and contributing to her anxiety. The lack of a calming morning transition also prevents her body from fully engaging its rest and digest functions, further impairing hormonal synthesis and overall recovery. If Maria doesn't address this, her anxiety could escalate, leading to more severe sleep disturbances, increased risk of cardiovascular issues due to chronic stress, and a continued decline in hormonal balance that medication alone might not fully address. All because her body is perpetually stuck in a state of perceived emergency from the moment she opens her eyes. The insidious nature of this habit is that it often masquerades as productivity, masking the underlying physiological damage it inflicts. The fourth crucial point we need to understand is how this morning habit negatively impacts insulin sensitivity and metabolic health, which are profoundly intertwined with hormonal balance, especially after age 50. When you wake up and immediately engage with screens, particularly if you're also skipping breakfast or reaching for high-sugar, processed foods due to time constraints or convenience, you're setting your metabolic system up for a fall. The stress response triggered by blue light and mental stimulation, as discussed, leads to an increase in cortisol. Cortisol, among its many roles, is a glucocorticoid, meaning it raises blood sugar levels to provide quick energy in a perceived crisis. While this is beneficial in true emergencies, chronic elevation of cortisol, particularly at inappropriate times like first thing in the morning when your body is transitioning from a fasted state, can lead to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is a state where your body's cells become less responsive to insulin, requiring your pancreas to produce more and more insulin to keep blood sugar levels stable. This creates a vicious cycle of elevated insulin and blood sugar, which is incredibly detrimental to hormonal health. High insulin levels are a significant disruptor of both testosterone and estrogen. In men, elevated insulin can lead to a decrease in sex hormone-binding globulin, SHBG, a protein that binds to testosterone. While this might sound like more free testosterone, it often indicates an overall dysregulation and can be associated with increased estrogen levels and a higher risk of conditions like metabolic syndrome. In women, insulin resistance is a major driver of polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, even in post-menopausal women, manifesting as stubborn weight gain, especially around the abdomen, and further exacerbating estrogen imbalances. Moreover, and chronically elevated insulin promotes inflammation, which is another significant antagonist to hormonal harmony. Inflammation itself can impair hormone receptor function and accelerate the breakdown of beneficial hormones. When your body is in a constant state of low-grade inflammation, it's like trying to run a finely tuned engine with dirty fuel. Let's consider another common scenario. David, 60, has been struggling with his weight for years. Despite trying various diets, he wakes up at 5:30 a.m., immediately checks his sports scores and news headlines on his phone, then rushes out the door to work, grabbing a sugary coffee and a pastry on his way. He feels a dip in energy mid-morning and often craves more sugary snacks. David's morning habit of immediate screen exposure, combined with his poor breakfast choices, is a recipe for metabolic disaster. The blue light triggers an early cortisol surge, and the sugary breakfast further spikes his blood sugar and insulin. This daily morning ritual is driving him towards insulin resistance. His body is constantly in a state of high insulin and high blood sugar, leading to increased fat storage, particularly visceral fat around his abdomen, which is metabolically active and produces its own inflammatory compounds, further disrupting hormones. The chronic insulin resistance is undoubtedly impacting his testosterone levels, contributing to his fatigue and difficulty losing weight. If David continues this pattern, he faces an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and a further decline in his testosterone and overall vitality. The cumulative effect of these seemingly small daily choices, when viewed through the lens of metabolic and hormonal health, becomes a significant health burden that could have been prevented with a simple shift in his morning routine. The modern lifestyle often promotes this kind of early morning stress and poor dietary choices, making it easy to fall into this trap without understanding the profound long-term consequences. Finally, let's address the fifth crucial point: the negative impact on overall sleep architecture and quality, which is intricately linked to hormonal repair and regeneration, especially after age 50. While we've touched on melatonin, it's vital to understand the broader effect of this morning habit on your entire sleep cycle. Your body has a natural wake-up process that involves a gradual increase in light sensitivity and a slow rise in core body temperature, culminating in a natural awakening. This process is supported by specific stages of sleep, including REM sleep and deep non-REM sleep, which are essential for physical and mental restoration. When you blast your eyes with blue light first thing in the morning, especially if it's still dark or twilight, you prematurely shock your system awake. This can disrupt the natural completion of your sleep cycles, essentially cutting short vital stages of sleep. Even if you think you got enough hours, the quality of that sleep is compromised. The problem isn't just about waking up. It's about how this early morning disruption impacts your ability to achieve restorative sleep later that night. By confusing your body's circadian clock in the morning, you make it harder for your body to correctly interpret light and dark cues throughout the day and into the evening. This can lead to a delayed sleep phase, making it harder to fall asleep at a reasonable hour, or fragmented sleep, where you wake up frequently during the night. For individuals over 50, quality sleep is paramount for hormonal health. During deep sleep, your body undergoes significant repair and regeneration. This is when growth hormone, crucial for muscle repair, fat metabolism, and bone density, is primarily released. It's also when your body works to regulate cortisol and insulin sensitivity. When sleep quality is poor, growth hormone secretion is suppressed, and your body's ability to regulate blood sugar and manage stress becomes impaired. Consider the interplay with sex hormones. Chronic sleep deprivation, even partial sleep deprivation, has been shown to significantly reduce testosterone levels in men. For women, poor sleep quality can exacerbate perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats, creating a vicious cycle where discomfort leads to even worse sleep. Furthermore, impaired sleep messes with hunger, regulating hormones like leptin and ghrelin. Leptin, which signals satiety, decreases with poor sleep, while ghrelin, which stimulates hunger, increases. This makes you feel hungrier and less satisfied, often leading to increased caloric intake and weight gain, which further complicates hormonal balance. Take the case of Brenda, 57, who has always been a light sleeper. She wakes up around 5 a.m., often to use the restroom. And rather than trying to go back to sleep, she grabs her phone and checks emails, plays a quick game, or scrolls through social media for 20-30 minutes before finally getting up. She often feels tired throughout the day, struggles with brain fog, and has noticed a significant increase in her night sweats and difficulty falling asleep at night, even though she feels exhausted. Brenda's morning habit is directly interfering with her sleep architecture. Even if she goes back to bed, The blue light exposure has already signaled to her brain that it's daytime, disrupting the natural progression of her sleep cycles. This leads to fragmented sleep and an inability to achieve sufficient deep and REM sleep, essential for hormonal repair. The resulting chronic sleep deprivation is directly impacting her growth hormone levels, contributing to her fatigue and cognitive issues. It's also exacerbating her menopausal symptoms, particularly night sweats and hot flashes, because her body's natural temperature regulation and hormonal balance are thrown off by the lack of restorative sleep. If Brenda continues this, she faces a heightened risk of chronic fatigue syndrome, accelerated aging, and a significantly diminished ability to manage her menopausal symptoms, all stemming from a seemingly innocuous morning habit that silently erodes her body's capacity for repair and hormonal regeneration. The cumulative effect of years of subtly disrupted sleep can have profound consequences on overall health and longevity. Now that we've thoroughly explored how this seemingly benign morning habit of immediate and prolonged blue light exposure silently destroys hormonal balance after age 50, it's time to shift our focus to solutions. The good news is that recognizing this issue is the first powerful step, and the changes required are often simple, practical, and can be implemented right at home. These aren't radical overhauls, but rather mindful adjustments that can have profound ripple effects on your hormonal health and overall well-being. Our primary advice revolves around creating a screen-free buffer zone in your morning. The goal is to allow your body's natural circadian rhythm to properly kickstart the day without artificial interference. The first and most crucial piece of advice is to establish a minimum of 30 to 60 minutes, ideally even longer if your schedule allows, where you avoid all screens, no phones, no tablets, no laptops, no TV immediately upon waking. This means resisting the urge to check notifications, emails, or social media the moment your eyes open. This buffer zone is essential for allowing your body to naturally transition from sleep to wakefulness, promoting a healthy cortisol awakening response, and signaling to your brain that the sun, not artificial blue light, is the cue for the day. During this screen-free period, focus on activities that support your body's natural rhythms. The most impactful is to seek out natural light exposure as soon as possible after waking. This doesn't mean staring directly at the sun, but rather exposing your eyes to indirect sunlight. Step outside onto your balcony, open the curtains wide and sit by a window, or even take a short walk if feasible. Natural light, especially the full spectrum of morning light, is incredibly potent for setting your circadian clock. It signals to your brain to suppress melatonin production and initiate that healthy cortisol surge we discussed. The effects of this are profound: improved alertness, better mood, enhanced cognitive function, and crucially, better regulation of your HPA axis, leading to a more balanced hormonal profile. Important note: even on cloudy days, natural light is significantly more beneficial than artificial light for this purpose. Avoid sunglasses during this morning light exposure, if it's safe and comfortable to do so, as the light needs to reach your retina. Beyond light exposure, incorporate calming, mindful activities into your morning routine. Instead of grabbing your phone, try drinking a glass of water to rehydrate after sleep. Consider a few minutes of gentle stretching or yoga. This helps to release any stiffness from the night and gently activate your body. Engaging in a short meditation session, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts, can be incredibly beneficial for calming your nervous system and promoting that parasympathetic dominance we talked about. Journaling for a few minutes can also be a wonderful way to process thoughts without the external stimulation of a screen. The key is to create a sense of calm and intentionality, rather than immediately rushing into the demands and stimuli of the digital world. The effect of these changes is a more harmonious wake-up process, leading to better sleep quality at night, improved mood, and a more stable hormonal environment throughout the day. Next, let's talk about lifestyle changes beyond just the morning routine. Consistent sleep hygiene is paramount. This means aiming for a regular sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time each day, even on weekends. This further reinforces your circadian rhythm. Ensure your bedroom is a dark, cool, and quiet sanctuary. Block out all external light, consider blackout curtains, and remove any blinking lights from electronic devices. Limit screen time, especially blue light, at least 2-3 hours before bedtime. If you must use screens in the evening, utilize blue light filtering glasses or software on your devices that shifts the light spectrum to warmer tones. These practices directly support melatonin production in the evening, which in turn aids in deeper, more restorative sleep, a critical time for hormonal repair and regulation. The effects will be noticeable in your energy levels, cognitive clarity, and overall sense of well-being, all indicative of improving hormonal balance. Diet plays a crucial role in supporting hormonal health. Focus on a whole food, nutrient-dense diet. Prioritize lean proteins, healthy fats like avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil, and a wide variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. These provide the necessary building blocks for hormone synthesis and help reduce inflammation, which is a common disruptor of hormonal balance. Limit processed foods, refined sugars, and excessive caffeine, especially in the afternoon and evening. These can spike blood sugar, contribute to insulin resistance, and further disrupt sleep, creating a cascade of negative hormonal effects. Specifically, aim to include foods rich in magnesium, leafy greens, nuts, zincs, seeds, legumes, N and B vitamins, whole grains, eggs, as these are vital cofactors in hormone production and metabolism. Adequate fiber intake is also important for gut health, which, as we discussed, plays a significant role in estrogen metabolism and detoxification. The important note here is that dietary changes often take time to show full effects, but consistent effort will lead to sustained improvements in energy, mood, and hormonal markers. Regular exercise is another non-negotiable component for supporting hormonal balance, especially after age 50. Aim for a combination of aerobic exercise and strength training. Aerobic exercise, like brisk walking, jogging, or swimming, improves cardiovascular health, reduces stress, and enhances insulin sensitivity, all of which indirectly support hormonal regulation. Strength training is particularly vital for preserving muscle mass, which naturally declines with age. Muscle tissue is metabolically active and helps to improve insulin sensitivity, directly impacting both testosterone and estrogen balance. Furthermore, weight-bearing exercise supports bone density, which is crucial as hormonal changes after 50 can increase the risk of osteoporosis. Exercise also helps manage stress, releasing endorphins that naturally elevate mood and reduce the burden on your adrenal glands. Important notes: listen to your body. Start slowly if you're new to exercise, and consult with a healthcare professional before embarking on any new fitness regimen. The effects include increased energy, improved mood, better body composition, and more stable blood sugar levels, all contributing to a healthier hormonal profile. Finally, regular health check-ups are incredibly important. As you age, proactively monitoring your hormone levels, blood sugar, and other key markers with your doctor can provide valuable insights and allow for early intervention if imbalances are detected. Don't wait for severe symptoms to appear. Discuss any persistent fatigue, mood changes, sleep disturbances, or weight fluctuations with your healthcare provider. They can assess your individual situation, potentially recommend specific blood tests, like testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, thyroid hormones, and insulin, and guide you on personalized strategies, which might include targeted supplementation or, if necessary, hormone replacement therapy, but only after addressing foundational lifestyle factors. Clearly state the effects and important notes. Early detection can prevent minor issues from becoming major problems, and a proactive approach empowers you to maintain control over your health. Remember, doctors are partners in your health journey, and open communication is key. In summary, the single morning habit that silently disrupts hormonal balance after age 50, the immediate and prolonged exposure to artificial blue light from screens, has far-reaching consequences, impacting melatonin, cortisol, insulin sensitivity, sleep quality, and the delicate dance of your sex hormones. Recognizing these signs early, from persistent fatigue and mood swings to weight gain and decreased libido, is not about finding fault, but about empowering yourself to take action. The solutions are practical and within your reach. Create a screen-free buffer zone in the morning, prioritize natural light exposure, cultivate calming morning rituals, Commit to consistent sleep hygiene. Nourish your body with a whole food diet. Engage in regular exercise, and maintain open communication with your healthcare provider through regular checkups. By choosing to adjust this seemingly small morning habit, you are making a profound investment in your future self. You are actively choosing vitality over apathy, balance over disruption, and proactive health over reactive illness. Don't underestimate the power of these seemingly minor adjustments. Their cumulative effect over time is truly transformative. Imagine waking up feeling truly refreshed, with sustained energy throughout the day, a clearer mind, a more stable mood, and a renewed zest for life. This isn't a pipe dream, it's an achievable reality when you align your daily habits with your body's natural rhythms. Take control, protect your precious hormonal balance, and step into each new day with renewed vigor and purpose. Your body is an incredible system, capable of remarkable resilience when given the right conditions. Empower yourself to create those conditions, starting with your very first moments of the day. Thank you so much for watching this entire video, and for being a vital part of the Body Revival community. Your commitment to your health inspires us every single day. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone you care about, and, most importantly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next videos on vital health topics. We're constantly working to bring you the best and most actionable insights to help you thrive. We wish you all excellent health and look forward to seeing you again very soon. Take care, everyone.